On May 27, 2018 in Springfield, Massachusetts, Stewart Weldon saw that he was about to get pulled over for a busted taillight, so he floored it. The chase ended when he tried to ram a police car and his vehicle stalled. As the cops approached the car, they saw a woman tied up in the back seat. She yelled to the officer that she was being kidnapped and Stewart was arrested. The woman told the police that she was held captive for a month, repeatedly beaten and raped. For some reason, the police didn't bother to search his house. It was only until Stewart's mother informed him that she smelled something foul 3 days after the incident. As the police searched, they found the decomposing bodies of 3 women. Welcome to History's Biggest Villains. Stewart Weldon was born on June 24, 1977 in Queens, New York. With the increase of drug activity in the neighborhood, his family left to live in Montclair, New Jersey. After the death of Stewart's father in 1996, his mother spoiled him, allowing him to stay at her house while he partied. According to his friend Dwight Pottinger, "We were young, drinking, smoking, and Stewart was a ladies' man." But Dwight and Stewart would engage in criminal activity together as well. They went to the mall, encountering 3 young women. After they all hung out for some time, they agreed to take them home. 2 of the women were dropped off, but the 3rd woman was forced at gunpoint to stay in the car. Dwight then sexually assaulted her in the car before Stewart drove her back home. Both men were charged with sexual assault. Later that year, Stewart was arrested in East Orange, New Jersey on gun charges and kidnapping. He took a plea deal and was sentenced to 3 years probation. In 2006, he and another man were charged with burglary and arson at a car dealership in Maywood. Even though he violated his probation, Stewart was sentenced to a year and a day in prison. Once he was released, he moved up to Springfield, Massachusetts, but his criminal behavior didn't stop. In 2010, he was caught trying to break into a grocery store and he led the police on a high-speed chase. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison. In 2015, he was arrested for threatening to shoot people at a bar, and he punched the apprehending officer. In October 2017, he had a child, and he was also wanted for attacking a woman on the street. Once he was spotted, he led the police on another high-speed chase, and it ended when he tried to ram his car into a police vehicle. He was trying to reach for a knife when he was arrested. He was charged with assault with a dangerous weapon and assault on a police officer. His bail was set at $2,500, and it was eventually downgraded to $1,000. His mother paid it, and he was released to live with her. By May 2018, Stewart had multiple active warrants for a string of sexual assaults, as he cut off his ankle monitor, making him a wanted fugitive. On the 27th, he was pulled over after police noticed his busted taillight. He then sped off, leading the cops on a chase through several city streets before they boxed his car in. As the officers approached, he rammed a police cruiser with his car, and he had to be wrestled out at gunpoint. He fiercely fought with the officers, as several of them were needed to subdue him. Once he was secure, the police found a woman tied up in the back seat, as she was crying uncontrollably. Once she could speak, she told the officers that Stewart had been holding her captive for a month, repeatedly raping her, beating her with multiple blunt objects, and threatening to kill her. "Thank you for saving my life. I didn't think I was ever going to get away." Her body bore the signs of prolonged torture, as she had stab wounds to her abdomen, a fractured jaw, bruises from blunt force trauma, and a severe infection that almost led to the amputation of her leg. Stewart was carrying 2 large knives on him when he was arrested, and he was charged with kidnapping and sexual assault, with his bail set at $1 million. Despite the fact that they found a victim in his car, the police didn't initially search the property where Stewart lived with his mother. 3 days later, she called the police, complaining of a foul odor and swarms of flies coming from her basement. When the investigators responded, they discovered the decomposing bodies of 3 women in the house, 1 in the basement, 1 in the garage on the property, and 1 hidden underneath a shed. The advanced state of decomposition indicated that these women had been killed months earlier. They all had shown signs of restraint, as one body was found hog-tied with cable cords, another had her ankles and wrists bound together, and the last was found concealed under a tarp. In June 2018, the victims were identified. They were 47-year-old Ernestine Ryans, 34-year-old America Loudon, and 27-year-old Kayla Escalante. All 3 of these women were reported missing at the time of their discoveries. Evidence recovered at the scene discovered a modus operandi. Stewart preyed upon vulnerable women in the area, usually those who are homeless and drug addicts. He would lure them in with promises of money and drugs. Once he got the woman to his mother's house, the encounter would turn violent. The police found a homemade strangling device that Stewart had used to choke and kill his victims. Several survivors talked about how Stewart would strangle them without warning, often beating them with hammers and other blunt objects. Stewart was charged with 52 crimes, including 3 counts of first-degree murder, 8 counts of strangulation, 9 counts of aggravated rape, 2 counts of rape, 5 counts of aggravated kidnapping, and 4 counts of kidnapping. He initially tried to plead not guilty, but his bail was set at $2 million. The pandemic postponed the trial, and the competency hearing was held to determine his ability to stand trial. He was ruled competent, and on September 28, 2021, he changed his plea to guilty. 2 days later, he was sentenced to 3 life terms, which will run consecutively. What do we have here? Another failure of the justice system. Like, it really doesn't make sense to me how you have guys that can continuously commit crime after crime after crime after crime, and they just get these light sentences. Like, what do you mean you sexually assaulted a woman, you're out within a year to commit another crime? Like, what do you mean you're beating up police officers, you're threatening to kill police officers, you're ramming cop cars on chases, and you're only getting 18 months? Like, what do you mean you have all this history of kidnapping and gun possession and sexual assault and violence charges, and you're just out on the street? They can't say it fell through the cracks because you arrested him so many times. He's been arrested 12, 13 times. Like, keep this dude in jail. You're setting bail at $2,500 when you almost tried to kill police officers. They'll give somebody who got caught with weed more time than they'll give somebody who sexually assaulted somebody. Like, that's the crazy part to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Thank you guys. I really appreciate y'all. Leave a like if you enjoy. Hit that subscribe button to the channel. Turn on my post notification on if you haven't already. Be safe, stay on the ground. I'm out. Peace.
Story we've been covering closely since Wednesday. Multiple bodies found at a home in East Springfield. 22
News reporter Ciara Speller has been covering this story since the very beginning. She joins us live from Page Boulevard.
Well, Rich and Tamara, Thursday night, Hampden County DA Anthony Gallooni confirmed that 3 bodies were in fact found in this Page Boulevard home, leaving many residents in the area wondering how something like this could happen so close to home. This is at 1333 Page Boulevard in East Springfield. Just after noon on Thursday, Gallooni confirmed that 2 bodies were found inside this home. Hours later, he revealed that police found another body on the property. According to court documents obtained by 22 News, 40-year-old Stewart Weldon lives at this home. Weldon was arrested Sunday and is now being held on $1 million bail after he allegedly led police on a brief chase and crashed into a cruiser. Springfield police spokesman Ryan Walsh told 22 News during that incident, officers found a woman in his car who he had allegedly been holding hostage for a month. Gallooni also said there is no threat to the public and that they can't confirm whether or not Weldon is a suspect in these murders. This is an ongoing investigation, and 22 News will bring you any new information as it becomes available on air, online, and on our 22 News mobile app. We're live in Springfield. Ciara Speller, 22 News.